Morning, folks. Again, Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Thursday, December 14th, 2023 on our planet. I hope you're all well. So as we talk about and learn about the effects of space weather on our planet and the expected Earth catastrophes as they relate to the space weather environment or periods of tribulation as we get into Revelation, which we really haven't started yet, we're forgetting about one very important thing. Our children. Now, someone else has sometimes asked the question that what age do we tell their children and he doesn't know? I know. When do we start telling about all these things? So while others may be so strong and confident as they project in themselves and their self-assuredness and saltiness, I'll tell you. So will he. He'll tell you. First, your chances of making it through difficult times will only be as strong as the weakest link in your family. That link or links could be your wife. It can also be your husband. So a lot of weak husbands out there. But you also have to carry and take care of your children as we go into difficult times. You need to start strengthening them up. Without causing unnecessary anxiety, panic, and fear. So there's a few things we can do to help our children. Because you know what? You're going to need them to help you. So maybe you should think about doing some predictive programming, such as they are programming us by the government and the mainstream media and the movies and so forth. The government's preparing us for these eventualities. We should be doing the same thing for our children. Maybe even trying to plant it into their subconscious. Before I go any further, he's already doing it. Joel chapter 2, verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young shall see visions. Joel 2, chapter 28. This is especially so for gifted children, autistic children. Sit down with them. Ask them of their dreams and nightmares and try to help them in interpreting them. My daughter already had hers. She told me that all the volcanoes around us were erupting. And of the mountain across the lake from us, all the trees were gone and lava was oozing out from the top. I shall give your daughters and sons, they shall prophesy. Stay in tune to your children's dreams and nightmares. What else can we do? There's three things. And again, without triggering them into a panic, anxiety, and fear, you got to try and program them as to what to expect. Teach them about space. Teach them about space weather. Try to, this is hard, when they're feeling the effects of space weather, trying to explain to them what it is. Well, the sun just had a big boom boom. And that's why you're having big boom booms in your head. Second, This is more difficult than the first, okay? This is way, way more difficult. Start getting them used to not having the internet, access to the internet, using their smartphones. Start preparing them now in advance. Have some family time together. Teach them the cards. Stock up on games. Go to thrift stores. Start stocking up on them. Here's an age test, kids. Because this is all they're going to have. It's all you're going to have too. Okay. Because when it all breaks down, when it all fails, when you don't have the internet, what are you going to have? Hang on, one more thing. This is not part of my notes. One moment. Alrighty then. Something a lot of people haven't thought of, something a lot of people haven't used, period, and they probably don't know how to use it. This is very difficult. Okay, this is going to be very difficult. Are you ready? How many know how to use this and apply it to this? So part of my preps, because I know what's going to happen, and because it's really, really cheap right now, different types of paper: lined, graph, blank. So far, my stockpile is about 3 feet high. And these, a few hundred. You got to keep this busy. And your kids. Start dedicating some family time with your kids, right? Start getting into these things. Turn it all off. Turn off the technology. Start getting used to it. 3, teach them things. Teach them things that's going to help them in the long run, and it's going to help you. You're going to need your children's help through their strength and fortitude and knowledge and skills, life skills. Teach them how to build a fire. Teach them the principles of starting a fire. Teach them how to cook food, basic food. Teach them how to grow food. Teach them first aid, because when everything happens, and if you get hurt, and you will, you're not going to have EHS, the ambulance, showing up at your door. You're not going to have the fire department. You're not going to have anybody. Teach your kids first aid. Put them through a first aid course starting at around age 13 or 14. That's when I started. And if they're younger than that, teach them. Show them what your first aid kit looks like. Now, me, I used to be an attendant, so I have the pretty big kit bags. Show them. Show them how to open one up. Show them what a sterile dressing is. A couple of years ago, I slashed off the side of my finger. I was doing some work. Blood all over the place. So very calm, right? I'm just holding it up, right? Told my daughter to go to the truck and get my level 2 kit, right? Open it up and get me some dressings and start cutting me some tape, right? Because I can't do anything because I got to stop the bleeding. Teach them. Especially first aid. It's probably more important than anything else. Get them into these things. Get their mind programmed. You start programming their mind, not just what to expect. treat them with kindness, with sugar, not with saltiness. Saltiness is not going to do anybody any good. And in the end, they will become the weakest link. So I want to have this little talk about, we can't leave our children out. Ask them what their dreams are. See if maybe he's already speaking to them and giving them their prophecy. Your chances are only as good as your weakest link. Do what you can to strengthen them up. And when you're out there getting your supplies and stuff, right? Go to your thrift stores, you look for supplies. Make sure you find this, okay? All right. Oh! That's it for now, folks. I'll be back later on once I find out what's going on with these, with the sun. I'm going to keep that as a separate video later.